Hi, I'm State Representative J.T. Wilcox. I'm the House Republican Leader down here in Olympia, and this is my weekly update. We have had a week of quite a bit of floor activity with, I thought, some really good debate from House Republicans that offered amendments to a Democratic bill, just asking Democrats to live up to some promises that they had made in the past. I think that in the end, they might do it, but unfortunately this time, when we could have agreed on some things really early, almost all of them said no. We're going to keep trying to do things that will improve the economy, help parents with children who are struggling to pay for the technology that's necessary to be successful, and also bring down the huge increases in our unemployment insurance rates that will prevent employers from bringing more people back to work. But I think the other big news this week goes back to something that's been going on for quite some time, and that is the huge failure at employment security. The fact that, first of all, it was impossible for that agency to help people when they needed it, when there were a lot of people becoming unemployed. They were unable to process their applications quickly. And I've heard of many cases where even now people that filed in April are waiting for the money that puts food on their table and pays the rent. This is inexcusable, and the fact that the majority in Olympia refuses to hold oversight hearings, I think, is a scandal, and we should all be concerned about that. One of the things that many of the House Republicans, and I think all people that are elected in the legislature, have been doing, along with their legislative assistants, is constantly trying to help facilitate people with ESD trying to solve whatever roadblocks they've had in getting their money. And I know that all of the legislative assistants that work for the House Republicans have put in overtime trying to help solve this problem, and they've been successful in many cases. I really appreciate all of their work. On top of that, just this week, we found out about a huge data breach. It was not directly from ESD, but it involved almost every single person who applied for unemployment benefits over the 12 months of 2020. This involved information that had been gathered by the State Auditor's office and then transferred through a third-party vendor. That vendor was hacked, and more than 1.5 million people's personal information, including even their banking information, has now been exposed. And we're super concerned about how this is going to disrupt people's lives that have already been disrupted. We have an expert in our caucus. His name is Representative Matt Benke. He was an officer in Cyber Command before he retired and got into politics. There's no one in Washington, at least elected, that I think is more qualified than he is to help unravel all this. And he has been talking in public quite a bit, but so far there has been no interest on the part of the majority parties to hold oversight hearings. One of the, I think, failures of long-term single-party government is the fact that there is this huge reluctance to investigate, at least investigate in a public way. And I hope that Representative Benke will be able to gather all the information. And if the Democrats are not interested in exposing where we have failed, then I'm quite sure that Representative Benke will do that. That's his responsibility. It should be everybody's responsibility. And lastly, I think the vast majority of Washingtonians now know that it's time to start reopening safely, not just in the most populated parts of Washington, but all over the state. We've seen Democratic members that represent Northwest Washington break with their party and make this demand. And we have seen Democrats in county government, like the Whatcom County Council, make this demand as well. And it is time for the governor to start to recognize that the less populated parts of the state have the same economic needs, and they are just as capable of opening safely. He has to listen to this. Thanks, everybody.